Breaking. Starmer just delivered his most explosive political speech yet, and what he said has sent shockwaves through the entire British establishment. The Prime Minister has completely abandoned Tony Blair's legacy, branded Nigel Farage as a racist, and unleashed a political earthquake that's tearing the Labour Party apart from the inside. This isn't just another political controversy.
Now, we should always say plainly and with pride that asylum for people genuinely fleeing persecution is the mark of a decent, compassionate country. But secure borders are also vital for a decent, compassionate country. Controlling who comes here is an essential task of government. And there's nothing compassionate or progressive in a vile trade that loads people into overcrowded boats, puts them in grave danger in the Channel, and ultimately exploits human desperation and hope. So mark my words, we will stop this, we will smash the gangs, we will crack down on illegal working, we will remove people with no right to be here, and we will secure Britain's borders. But there is a line, a moral line, and it isn't just Farage who crosses it. There are also people who should know better, sowing fear and discord across our country. And then when we call it out, they pretend that we're criticising reasonable concerns about immigration. We have seen that trick conference. So let us spell it out once and for all. Controlling migration is a reasonable goal. But if you throw bricks and smash up private property, that's not legitimate. That is thuggery.
This is a government desperately trying to survive while everything falls apart around them. If you want to stay ahead of stories like this that reshape British politics, hit that subscribe button right now, because what you're about to see will change how you think about Starmer's leadership forever. Here's what sparked the biggest Labour crisis in years. Just days ago at the Labour Party conference in Liverpool, Keir Starmer made a move so shocking that even his own MPs are questioning his judgment. He completely scrapped Tony Blair's historic target of getting 50% of young people into university, a target that took 20 years to achieve and represented one of Labour's greatest successes.
About my brother. He was failed. He had difficulties learning. He was badly failed by the education system. He was put to one side, barely even seen. Now, conference, some politicians say, I want every child to have the same opportunities that I had. You hear a lot of that in Westminster. But that's not me. No, what I want is a Britain where people are treated with the dignity that they deserve for making different choices, choices our country needs, choices we should value, choices that deserve our respect. And so, conference, while you will never hear me denigrate the aspiration to go to university, I don't think the way we currently measure success in education, that ambition to get 50% of kids to uni, I don't think that's right for our times. Because if you're a kid or a parent of a kid who chooses an apprenticeship, what does it say to you? Do we genuinely?
But Starmer didn't just quietly drop it. He publicly humiliated Blair's legacy while desperately trying to save his own political career. The optics are absolutely devastating. A failing prime minister attacking the achievements of the most successful Labour leader in modern history. But it gets so much worse. In the same speech, Starmer launched his most vicious attack yet on Nigel Farage. These aren't just political disagreements anymore.
Farage policies. Keir Starmer attacked the reform leader with a vigour many in his party had grown impatient to hear.
He doesn't like Britain, doesn't believe in Britain, wants you to doubt it just as much as he does. I have had enough of lectures from self-appointed champions of working people who want to shred our public service, level down workers' rights, crash the economy like Liz Truss. Politicians who lied to this country, unleashed chaos, and walked away after Brexit, who equivocate on Putin in Ukraine, who even now go to America and grub around for money, talking this great country down. No. No more lectures from them. And the question I ask seriously of Nigel Farage and Reform is, do they love our country? Do they want to serve our country, all of it, our beautiful, tolerant, diverse country, every region, nation and city? Or do they just want to stir the pot of division because that works in their interests?
This is a prime minister so desperate to distract from his own failures that he's willing to brand millions of British voters as racists for supporting common sense immigration controls. During that conference speech, Starmer didn't hold back. He called Reform UK snake oil merchants and directly questioned Farage's patriotism, claiming he doesn't believe in Britain. The Prime Minister went even further, calling his immigration policies racist and immoral.
We all see these snake oil merchants on the right, on the left, but be in no doubt conference, none of them have any interest in national renewal, because decline is good for their business. I mean, think about it. When was the last time that you heard Nigel Farage say anything positive about Britain's future? He can't. He doesn't like Britain, doesn't believe in Britain, wants you to doubt it just as much as he does.
Just a point on that, Isabel, before I ask you to respond on the specifics. He talked about snake oil merchants on the left and the right. Who might he be referring to on the left?
Slight at so-called fruit and nut, Zara Sultana and
Well,
Jeremy.
that was my only thought, that it could be that.
Yeah, but I sort of felt that he just chucked in that the left thing just so that people wouldn't be able to write that he was going on and on
100%.
about far right.
100%.
You know, I think that's really the only reason that he did it.
But the broad brush of what he said was that Nigel Farage doesn't like Britain, doesn't even believe in Britain.
I mean, this is, you know, I did recoil at that because there's one bit of it that is true. Nigel Farage does not like Britain as it is now, and neither do the millions of people that support him. They are unhappy with the Britain that we currently...
The specific policy that triggered Starmer's outburst was Reform's plan to review settled status for non-EU migrants, a policy that polling shows 44% of British voters actually support. Within hours of Starmer's racist accusations, Nigel Farage fired back with devastating effectiveness. The contrast couldn't be starker. Farage looked like a statesman defending his supporters, while Starmer looked like a desperate politician, throwing around racist accusations to save his career. Farage accused Starmer of putting Reform candidates and activists at physical risk by branding them as racists. He called the Prime Minister wholly unfit for office and declared this a fight for the soul of Britain. Social media exploded with the hashtag #StarmerDesperate trending globally for 3 straight days, over 1.8 million posts, 37 million engagements, and viral videos contrasting Starmer's elite university background with his attacks on working-class voters who support apprenticeships and immigration controls. The visual narrative is politically devastating. A privileged lawyer who went to Oxford attacking ordinary Britons as racists while destroying educational opportunities that helped previous generations escape poverty. Inside the Labour Party, the reaction has been pure panic. Cabinet ministers who once stood loyally beside Starmer are now privately questioning whether he can survive until Christmas. Senior backbench MPs are openly discussing leadership challenges. The party machinery that delivered a landslide victory just 15 months ago is now in complete meltdown. 3 junior ministers have privately warned Starmer that his rhetoric is becoming politically toxic. Over 30 Labour MPs have refused to defend his racist accusations against Farage supporters. The parliamentary party is fracturing in real time as members realize their leader has crossed a line that British voters will never forgive. The university policy reversal has created its own crisis. Education unions are furious that Starmer attacked higher education without consultation. University leaders feel betrayed by a government that campaigned on supporting academic excellence. Even Blair loyalists within Labour are openly questioning Starmer's judgment and competence.
I'm not going to play the man, I'm playing the ball as our leader did. I will leave it for the public to come to their own judgments about someone who once flirted with Hitler Youth when he was younger. That is for the public, but we will be absolutely clear about the policy choice before the British people in the years ahead as we head to the general election.
He is not playing the man there. He's playing the ball held by a man who may or may not be a Nazi. We'll get into the specifics of that allegation, because he's actually referring to a very particular allegation against Nigel Farage. But having said that, just this morning, David Lammy apparently changed his position when asked about it by the BBC.
He has denied it, and so I accept that he has denied it, and I would like to clarify that position because in the end the Prime Minister was keen for us to focus on the policies, not the individual.
Can I just thank the Deputy Prime Minister for giving us so much unintentional comedy?
Things got even worse when David Lammy, trying to defend his leader, made the extraordinary claim that Farage had flirted with Hitler Youth in his younger days. An allegation so baseless that Lammy himself had to awkwardly retract it hours later. The £800 million promised for further education sounds impressive until you realize it's spread across multiple years and represents less than half of what universities lose from international student visa restrictions. It's classic Starmer. Big announcements that fall apart under scrutiny. The international implications are equally damaging. European politicians are watching a British Prime Minister brand legitimate immigration concerns as racist extremism. American observers see parallels with failed establishment politicians who attack populist movements instead of addressing voter concerns. From Brussels to Washington, Starmer looks like a leader who has completely lost touch with his own people. The economic consequences are mounting daily. Business leaders who supported Labour are now questioning whether Starmer can provide the stable leadership Britain needs. Investment decisions are being delayed as international markets wonder if Britain has a government capable of governing effectively. The post-Brexit recovery that Starmer promised is stalling as political chaos consumes Westminster. But the deeper crisis is moral and political legitimacy. When a prime minister destroys his own party's achievements while branding millions of voters as racists, he's not facing standard political opposition. He's facing a complete breakdown of democratic trust that no spin operation can repair. The polling numbers are catastrophic and getting worse daily.
Starmer a lesson next May that British political history will never forget. I am now, as a result of this week and the abuse that has been heaped upon our supporters and our voters, more determined than ever. Don't underestimate that.
Reform UK now leads Labour by 6 points in working-class constituencies. Starmer's personal approval ratings have fallen below -30. Even Labour voters are abandoning the party in record numbers as they realize their leader views them with contempt. And Farage has promised that reform will teach Starmer and Labour a lesson in the May elections that British political history will never forget. The visual contrast dominating every screen in Britain tells an undeniable story. Elite university graduate attacking apprenticeships versus working-class hero defending ordinary voters. Privileged lawyer calling immigration concerns racist versus common-sense politician protecting British interests. Failing prime minister destroying successful policies versus popular leader offering hope and renewal. Every day brings fresh revelations of Starmer's disconnect from reality. More leaked documents showing his obsession with attacking Farage instead of governing. More heartbreaking stories of young people denied university opportunities by funding cuts. More viral social media content exposing his hypocrisy and desperation. The algorithms on every platform are amplifying anti-Starmer content because the engagement rates are through the roof. The emotional power of watching a privileged elite attack ordinary voters is so intense that the content spreads faster than any government response can contain it. This isn't just a political scandal anymore. It's become the defining symbol of everything wrong with Starmer's leadership. Out of touch with voters, morally bankrupt, willing to destroy his own party's achievements, while branding British patriots as racist extremists. Social media groups like Starmer Out and Labour Betrayal have gained over 300,000 members in just 1 week. They're organizing campaigns, creating viral content, and building the grassroots movement that will end his political career. Inside Downing Street, sources describe an atmosphere of complete desperation. Ministers who once believed in Starmer's vision are now quietly planning their escape routes. Labour Party officials are discussing whether the party can survive another 2 years of his leadership. The question is no longer whether Starmer can recover from this crisis. Political analysts agree that his moral authority is completely destroyed. The only question now is whether his government can last another 6 months without completely falling apart. Britain is watching a prime minister self-destruct in real time, a man so desperate to save his career that he's willing to attack his own party's greatest achievements, while branding half the electorate as racist extremists. This crisis will be studied for decades as a textbook example of political leadership failure. The moral bankruptcy is complete. The political suicide is undeniable, and the aftershocks will reshape British politics for years to come. At the epicenter stands a man who looks increasingly isolated, increasingly desperate, and increasingly finished. Starmer's attacks weren't just about education policy or immigration. They were about a failing leader lashing out at everyone around him as his government collapses. That's not just political incompetence. That's the kind of moral failure that destroys careers and parties forever. What do you think? Has Starmer crossed a line that British voters will never forgive? Is this the beginning of the end for his leadership? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. We read every single one. And if this story shocked you as much as it shocked us, share it with everyone who needs to see what's really happening in British politics right now. The mainstream media won't tell you the full truth about Starmer's desperate attacks on his own voters, but we will.